Good morning, Roberta here. So the last video I made was of a journal that I made for a little girl, and in that video I reminded you that I had made a promise to do a giveaway and that I was just a tad behind in keeping that promise. I always keep my promises, not always in a timely fashion. So I apologize about that. It's taught me a lesson not to make promises ahead of time that I'm not sure I can keep. But I'm ready to do the giveaway, and I'm calling it a giveaway with a twist, and here's the reason. I've been reading a lot of comments on the Junk Journal Junkies site and Junk Journal chat site from people who are newbies, and I remember being one of those, and people who say they don't even know where to start, and they don't have a lot of supplies, and they don't have a lot of money to buy supplies. So here's the twist. I've got 3 separate giveaways that I'm going to do this week. Okay, so the first one is a junk journal that I've made, and I'll do a quick flip through in a minute, and that will be a giveaway to any subscriber, and I will pull names out of a hat or jar or something. And this is kind of a traditional vintage style junk journal with all of the aged pages and coffee dyeing and so on. The second one is more of a traveler's notebook insert, or if you don't have a true traveler's notebook, you can use this freestanding. And this one actually says Travelog on it, and inside you'll see it is geared towards travel, and this one is not distressed in any way, it just has white pages. And then the third one, this is the one that I would like to designate specifically for a newbie. And specifically for that newbie who has almost no stash, doesn't have a lot of things, doesn't have a lot of money to buy kits, etc. And so for this one, I'm going to choose, rather than just randomly picking a name out of a hat from my subscribers, for this one I would like people to comment at the end of this video with their name and the fact that they are a newbie and in that situation, and that they truly would appreciate getting a kit like this that they can just put together. And aside from the needle, I will include everything in this kit that a person needs to make a journal. That being said, I have not actually made a cover for this journal yet, but I promise that I will. I realized this morning that I hadn't done it and just decided to go ahead and do the video anyway because I can't keep putting this off. So those are the 3 giveaways, but one of them I would like to be specific to a newbie. And I'm sure since we were all in that boat at one time or another, you'll all agree that that's a good idea, a good way to give someone a jump start. So I'll start with a quick flip throughs of the 2 journals that are made, and then a quick flip through of this one. Okay, so this is the vintage junk journal. Have some images here, book page. This is just scrapbook paper with some lace and some flowers made out of book paper, a little more lace trim here, flowers. I think these were originally Prima flowers, and I coffee dyed some and sprayed some. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. And this is a brad that I found inexpensively, probably at Tuesday morning would be my guess. And, you know, a little flat back pearl, a little piece of free ephemera that I found online. I'm in my vacation home, and when I'm here in my vacation home, it's actually kind of nice because I don't have much here. And so I use what I have, and I haven't reached the clutter point yet. There's a place for everything and everything in its place, and I really like that. Whereas at home, I think I get bogged down by the amount of stuff that I have. So just a simple ribbon closure using eyelets to hold the ribbon in place. Okay, I reinforced the spine with just another piece of the same paper that I used for the cover. Again, I just used scraps of things that I had here. Here is a book page pocket that I believe I learned from watching Patricia Viramonte. I might not be saying that right, but I bet you all know who she is. She did a video on this. And inside I just have another little piece of ephemera that I either found online or this was made with a stamp. I truly can't remember. And then this was made using a die pack that I have at home that just makes a little, to me it looks like a little mini file folder, but it's just a little extra place to journal on. And here's just an excess piece of scrapbook paper that I had, and I coffee dyed that as well. And I tend to leave my journals under embellished. And for me, the reason for that is because I really do write in them. And if I'm giving it away to someone, and unless it's someone that I know and they specify what they want, I figure you can embellish it more yourself or leave it the way it is. That's up to you. But I like lots of blank pages. Did a little bit of stenciling here using some stencils that I might show you in a little while. Edge punching, little corner lift up pocket there that I know Yvonne White does, but I think she gave the credit for this to somebody else in one of her videos. So I'm not really sure who started that, but to whoever it was, thank you. I've got some book pages. They're in French. We have a lot of French Canadians here where I am. I don't speak a word of French other than bonjour. That's about as far as it goes. And because I always get nervous when I take a book that might have something in it that's not appropriate, this was actually a book about Brigitte Bardot and her life. So I'm pretty sure there's nothing too racy in there. A little bit of washi tape, graph paper. This I coffee dyed on an inexpensive throwaway baking sheet that I got at the supermarket, and then discovered it kind of makes lines, and I sort of like that. Another one of those book pages with a little bit of corner punching, a little tuck spot here that has a card that I'm pretty sure was a freebie from Pinterest, and just some extra scrapbook paper to make a little extra writing spot. Again, some of the stenciling, a bit of washi tape. This was a scrap left over from a paper pack that I had. An altered paper clip that acts as another tuck spot, with a tag that I made with a stamp on it that I really like, and just a little bit of embroidery thread. And another tag that I made, really just using leftover scrapbook paper, but gives you another nice area to write on. Alright, this is just a cutout using a scallop punch, and I'm guessing that I did that, and sometimes I do. If I stencil or stamp on the other side and it's coming through too much, then sometimes I stick something over it. Again, just a leftover piece of scrapbook paper that I punched with a Martha Stewart punch. This was a set of really inexpensive stamps that I picked up at Tuesday morning. I didn't do it on top of every page, but some edge punching, a doily with a flower that I made using book pages, and another Tim Holtz, no, it's not Tim Holtz, maybe it is Tim Holtz, but anyway, a Sizzix die that I have. More book pages, and you'll see this is wide open, so you could do lots of embellishing or not. This was a actually good quality baking sheet that I found at a thrift store. I do a lot of thrift shopping when I'm down here so that I'm not spending a lot of money on things. It doesn't exactly make lines to write on, but I kind of think the design is cool. Alright, and it continues the same way. You'll see the washi tape. This is an envelope that I made using my envelope punch board, and I do have one of those down here because I was able to find one and get it with a 50% off coupon, so it kind of seemed like a no-brainer because they come in so handy. So what I do with this is I leave the envelope open, sew it into the very center of the signature, and this is really just one signature. Then I seal the envelope up. And inside I found just, or I put just a little piece of a doodle pad that I'm sure I found in the dollar spot at Target or Michael's, cut out there that you can use to hold the envelope down. These pictures, this picture, I just love this little guy. Is he not adorable? Along with the one on the cover, came from a paper pack that I found at a small local stamp shop here in South Florida. That is in Wellington, New York, and of course now I can't remember the name of it. Wellington, New York, Wellington, Florida. Sorry, I go back and forth between Florida and New York. And it's made in Sweden. So that's the information about this paper. It wasn't a paper pack. If I said that, that was wrong. It was just a single sheet of paper. And it might have even been pricey, I'm thinking, but I just fell in love with it and had to have it. So I bought 2 of them, and that was my expensive purchase. So we've got the adorable little baby on here, and you could journal on the back of her. And again, just an odd piece of scrapbook paper that I did not coffee dye this one. I just distressed it with the Tim Holtz ink. And a little page flag paper clip. Some more edge punching, some more book pages. I found this online, I believe, kind of a freebie, and printed that out. Just an index card, a small pocket made with some scraps that I had, another book page, the other side of the doily. I love butterflies. I try not to overdo them, but I just love them. Another piece of scrapbook paper, a little bit of washi tape, the other side of that paper. This one is just a little tuck spot made using scraps to kind of look like a ribbon. Here's another thing that I found on Pinterest, I believe. And I don't think that this belongs to anyone. I do have a lot of things in my stash from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. If this is hers, thank you. If it's not hers, it was a freebie. A Stampin' Up! Stamp set that I got at a garage sale while I was here. Some more stenciling, another little flip up with a butterfly under there. And more from that Stampin' Up! Stamp set, and kind of more of the same. And in the very back, another pocket, and in this one, a distressed bingo card, and I'm pretty sure that was a freebie too. I know that I have to start doing a much better job of giving credit when I'm sure. If it's Ephemera's Vintage Garden, I usually write EVG someplace in pencil on it so that I remember. I'm trying to not just throw all these things in. So this journal, according to my notes, has 14 pages to write on that they're coffee dyed. There are 4 book pages, 4 to 5 patterned paper sections with writing spots, a doily, a file card, several tags. It says 1 paper bag pocket, but I think that is in the kit that I'm actually giving away, not in this one. And at least 7 clips, tuck spots, and so on, and various ephemera. So, you know, this is a journal that would certainly last you a while. If it's 14 pages coffee dyed, then you multiply that times 4, so that's 56 pages to write on. So that's pretty good. All right, so this will be one giveaway. And the second giveaway is this, like I said, Traveler's Notebook. So if you're into the whole Midori craze, this could be an insert for a standard size Midori, and it would fit in a standard size. If you're thinking of getting into the Midori craze, this is what I did. I made myself one of these, and I carried it around for a month. I had a calendar in it and some other things. This one does not have a calendar. And it was my way of proving to myself that I really would use it. And let me tell you, I did. I really did. I left these kind of long in case someone wanted to put beads on them. I don't have any beads here. I have a few, but they wouldn't fit on this string, so I didn't put any beads on. This is just scrapbook paper from an 8x8 pack, and those 8x8 packs are great for making Midori inserts, by the way. All right, and I made a pocket on the inside. When I took a trip to Ireland a couple of years ago, which was my first time really out of the country, I carried this with me everywhere. And I put in the pockets cards from businesses that we went into. It seemed very common there that if a restaurant had a card, it either had a picture of the restaurant on the card or a picture of one of their signature dishes. And so if I didn't take pictures, at least I had that. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm terrible at taking pictures. So this was a stamp set that I found that I believe is by Fiskars, and it's pretty much all dedicated to traveling. So this one says official record, dates, notes, just a piece of scrapbook paper, and another stamp that I think was an inexpensive one from Tuesday morning. Some of the papers are lined. The ones that are lined I make myself just by going into Microsoft Word on my computer and printing lines. And then I change the color of them from black to a light gray. I might change them to a pale red, depending on the color of the journal. So this way the lines don't jump right out at you, but yet you're there if you're a person who needs them. Okay, here's a little tuck spot using some leftovers and a stamp that I found just recently, I think in a trip to Michael's. It's a cute little stamp set. or a stamp. It stamps a tag that looks sort of pre-distressed, and then that stamp comes from that set that's all about travel that I mentioned. I didn't put any string around that yet. I think I probably will. This one just provides you with a way to circle the month and the date if you'd like, and a little bit of washi tape. So again, I did not add a lot of color to this, but when I was making my trip to Ireland, I brought minimum supplies with me, but I did bring some watercolor pencils and a watercolor brush. And as I journaled for the day, if the blank page was sort of challenging to me and I didn't have enough things to glue or tape onto the page, then I did go ahead and do a little coloring or watercoloring on the page, and that helped. So washi tape, another stamp that says destination, another one of those official record. This is just a very small pocket. Might be good to hold receipts. I did put in 2 small journal cards that I found online. So this one doesn't have any type of a vintage theme. A little bit of stenciling that I did, but this time I added color to it instead of making it look distressed. I found this tag on a free printable on Pinterest, I believe, that has a map on it, so that seemed appropriate. And a paperclip flag there to put some things under if you'd like. And a little bit more stenciling, very light. In fact, it's so light because it's on the other side. Look at that. All right, so some stenciling there. Probably half of the pages are lined and half are not. Here's another small pocket with a tag that I made using that same stamp that stamps out the shape of a tag. There's kind of a purplish theme to this, purplish bluish. All right, little stamp on the bottom that just looks like a postmark. And some more stenciling. More stamping and washi tape. I think I glued that on there because there was kind of an ink blob under there that I wanted to cover up. Alright, so again, with this one you could go to town embellishing it more. You could use it for travel or choose not to use it for travel. I guess that's up to you. This one has, I didn't really count, but it certainly has enough pages for 1 2-week trip, I would say. Okay, so that's the second giveaway. The third one is the one that is going to be a kit. And this is the one that I said I would really like for a newbie to have. So what this one has is at least 14 pages. They are all coffee dyed. They are slightly different sizes. The graph paper is a slightly smaller size, and there's a butterfly stamp on there. This one was made with the pan that makes the lines and has a little growth greenery, only it's not green stamp, and so on. A little bit of stenciling on these. You can see it up here in the corner. For the most part, it's pretty soft. I used 2 or 3 of those stamps from the Stampin' Up! Kit that I mentioned. And again, left them fairly blank because I thought either a newbie might be intimidated by too much embellishing, or a newbie might want to do their own embellishing, and I actually have included some things for that as well. So the idea is that if a person literally had nothing at home to create a junk journal, they could put this together and have a good working junk journal. Here's one where I put a doily down on top of it while it was baking, and you just get the very faint image of the doily there. A little bit more of the stenciling. And so those are the pages there, okay? They're all very, very similar. And then to go along with it, here is another page that you can sew in, but this one is made from scrapbook paper. What else have I got here? Oh, and I've got the 4 book pages, again from the Bridget Bardot books, so the writing is all in French. If you can read French, you'll know what's going on. If you can't, oh well. But there's 4 of those already folded in half and ready to go. There is an envelope, which I did not seal, so that you can sew it into your signature. And basically you do that by sewing it probably up here so that it hangs down. Yes. And then you would fold down these flaps and go ahead and glue here, and then it's ready to use to put things into. And I have a doily as well that's already folded and has a little embellishment on it that you can sew right in. There, where is it? Oh, here we go. This is a little bag pocket that I made, and I embellished it with some book pages, and this was a stamp and I just fussy cut it out. This was made with a Sizzix die. So I glued down the sides of the part of the pocket that open here so that something very small could be put in there, and then a larger tag of some kind could be put in there. Okay, and this is also one that could be sewn in right into the signature, and I probably need to glue that there and there to make a pocket, so I will get that done as well. I missed that one. A couple of tags that I made using some really inexpensive tags that I found at Tuesday morning the last time I was here on vacation, and I will get some fibers or a string or something on those. Another piece of scrapbook paper that can just go into one of those pockets for extra writing space. A couple of pieces of that doodle page from a pad that can also be used for writing, and I just distress the edges in the back. Another file card. This is another spot that can just be an extra writing spot. Here's another one. This one could be sewn right in. I would sew this one in. Here's a pocket, and I've already folded the back of it so that you just put a thin bead of glue here, here, and here, and stick, there we go, stick the pocket onto your page, cut it out with a little circle punch, and you're ready to go. I made you a corner flip up that could go on any one of the corners of any one of the pages. And this was a piece of ephemera that I found online. And this and these can go in the pockets, but can also provide extra space for journaling. Another one of those little file folder type things I was showing you in the other one with a key on it that can also go into a pocket for journaling. This gets glued on just with a bead of glue right here onto the top of any page and becomes a tuck spot. This one, of course, gets slid onto the page, a page sideways, and becomes a tuck spot. Another one, this can be used for a bookmark or just as a tuck spot to add a few more things under the clip. This little tiny thing, I think it says it's a bus ticket. London Transit is what it says. And then another just adorable little boy from that sheet of paper that I was mentioning earlier. So this will be a complete kit. I promise I will have a cover by the time it's done. And it will very likely be a kind of a neutral color. It might be made out of craft cardstock and maybe a book page. So it'll be a soft cover journal, and I can punch the holes in it as well, so that that's one less thing that the person has to worry about. And like I said, for this, what I'd like you to do is comment on this video telling me that you're a newbie, telling me that you don't have a stash and that you would love to have this kit. And I will put only those people's names in the drawing for this kit. For the other two journals, I will put the names of all of my subscribers in and draw from those folks. Okay, so today is what, Wednesday? And I go home on Saturday, so I'm thinking maybe Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. Well, just so that you know, we'll say Sunday night I will do the drawing for these three things at 6 p.m. And then I would just ask that you give me about a week to get them in the mail, because summer school starts for me on the Monday that I get back, and I'm going to be a little crazy busy. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and sorry for being so late with my giveaway.